me tonight here at their home. It means a lot to me. We're doing these coffee hours all over the city, and it's great for me to have an opportunity to meet people, talk a little bit in a very informal atmosphere, and tell them what the campaign is all about. I think I know half the people here, and I don't know the other half, so I'll take 2 minutes to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm not originally from Brockton, but I've been here for 27 years. Came here 27 years ago, raised 6 children here. My oldest is a Brockton police officer. My youngest just graduated from the high school in June, my only daughter. And she's heading out next Friday to UMass Amherst. So I'm actually going to take one day off the campaign trail next Friday to bring my daughter to college. But I've been very committed to the city over my 27 years here. I've been involved in a lot of different projects, from building Little League fields at the Downey School to calling Brockton High football on the radio for the past 17 years to more recently serving on the school committee, being involved in the Rocky Marciano Statue Committee, and helping to found the state's 4th recovery high school for teenagers that are dealing with alcohol and drug addiction. So a lot of things I've worked on. I think I've got a track record of being able to get people to come together, work towards a common goal, and I've never been afraid to surround myself with people who know more than I do. So I'm just smart enough to know that I don't know as much as I need to, and get good people around me, and not be afraid to be challenged, but be able to get everybody going the same direction to achieve a goal. Someone didn't shut their phone off. Sorry about that.
Don't leave a message.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I thought I had it off. All right. So, you know, the past 4 years sitting on the school committee, I guess for the cops in the room, listening to my police officer's son once in a while, you know, I've really come to the conclusion that we can do a lot better than we're doing right now. I think Brockton is a city at stress right now, and not just because of violence that's occurred in the city over the last week or two, but I think that Brockton's been going the wrong direction for a while. And I think we've got a plan to change the direction the city is going in. It starts with leadership, but really I'm finding knocking on doors around, been knocking on doors for 5 months now. So I've spoken to a lot of people around the city. And there are 2 issues that come up over and over and over, and it's property taxes and crime. I mean, everybody is tired of having their property taxes go up the maximum every year and not feeling that they're necessarily getting a good value for their property tax money. And at the same time, folks are worried about public safety. They're worried about, you know, being safe on the streets. And we have a plan, and I believe I'm the only candidate that has a plan to provide real property tax relief, and at the same token, attract businesses and jobs back to the city. I feel very strongly that Brockton, somewhere along the line, we lost our identity. We used to be the shoe capital of the world. Now we don't make anything, and City Hall is anti-business. If you talk to anyone that owns a business in the city, has tried to open a business in the city, has tried to apply for a building permit, who owns investment property in the city, we're very anti-business here. We give people a hard time when they need to pull a permit, whether it's to build something or to open a business. We're not very cooperative in helping to support business people and investors, and government can only do so much. The key to Brockton's future is we need to attract private investment back to the city. We need investors and developers investing in the city. We need small business people opening small businesses and expanding small businesses in the city. And under my administration, we would do it very proactively. It starts with the commercial property tax rate being too high. We have the highest commercial property tax rate in all of southeastern Massachusetts. If you drive, take a ride either towards Avon or West Bridgewater, and you go over the line into Avon, you go over the line into West Bridgewater, what do you immediately drive into? Industrial parks. Small towns that are full of big companies that locate just outside the Brockton city limits, so they can derive all the benefits of Brockton but pay their lower tax rate to the small town next door. We have to turn that around. We need those companies and jobs coming into the city, and that's part of the solution to taking the burden off the backs of the homeowners in the city, is to expand our commercial property tax base. If we have more businesses and more companies contributing, then we can stop constantly taking it from the homeowners in the city. So businesses and jobs back to the city. reducing the property tax burden on homeowners, and then attacking public safety and reducing crime in the city. And my police officer friends in the crowd, I'm always very careful to never ever criticize the fine men and women of the Brockton Police Department, which my son is one of them. The fact of the matter is that we are way short-staffed, where we don't have enough resources, we don't have enough officers. For a city the size of Brockton, we should have 250 police officers. We have 186. And I think one of the key things that we're not able to do right now is that I think that our style of police work is reactive. In other words, we're always responding to calls. In order to turn some of these troubled neighborhoods around, we need a chance to be proactive. We need to be able to go into neighborhoods proactively, extract the gang leaders out of the neighborhoods, come in with all the resources and clean them up. And that's not going to happen until we have more officers to do it with. And I'm the only candidate that has a program built upon developing our water, sewer, and electricity resources to bring millions of dollars into the city budget that does not come from property taxes. And I've made the commitment that that money will be used for two things: to stop raising property taxes, to provide real property tax relief, and to hire police officers. Because I think those are the two key challenges facing the city. And if we're going to turn property values around, I mean, the one thing I can tell you for sure, under Linda Balzotti for the past 4 years, is that your property value has gone down while your property tax bill has gone up. And we have a program to turn both of those around and make property values start going back up again and keep the property taxes down. So that's kind of a quick version. I do have a copy with it. We're going to be announcing our public safety plan to make safer neighborhoods in the city. I do have a couple of copies of it with me here tonight, even though we haven't released it yet. But it's based upon doing some true community policing, which we just don't have the manpower to do right now, and also taking some things from some other cities like Springfield that have had some success using some of the same counterinsurgency tactics into distressed neighborhoods that the U.S. has used in Afghanistan and Iraq to extract terrorists. And gang leaders are terrorists. They're just urban terrorists terrorizing our neighborhoods. And we got to treat them like that. And
Toronto, Canada.
I don't care where they go. I just want to make life so uncomfortable for them here that they don't stay here.
That's right.
So I'll be happy to. I gave you the fast version. I appreciate everyone being here. I've got a website, BillCarpenterForMayor.com, that has a number of videos on there if you want to check out some of my positions and things I've been doing, and also a Facebook page, BillCarpenterForMayor.com, or Bill Carpenter for Mayor Facebook. Now, I'll take some questions. Come on, someone always has a couple of questions to grill me with.
Currently, right now, the state police are actually helping out Brockton.
Yep.
And not only
That's
that,
good.
and, you know, Toronto, Canada, sorry it's Canada, but Toronto police, you know, at least the murder rate has been lower there, and hopefully Brockton can do what they can do in Toronto.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure that murder rate is exactly the best gauge of how we're doing.
No.
But I think that
Yeah,
something
they're
that's
very
been
good at
misstated by
catching
the
crime.
current administration is she makes it sound like that all of a sudden we're doing this new cooperation with federal agencies, with the state police.
That's
We've been
the-
doing that stuff for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. We've developed good relationships. We work with the state police units. We work with the DEA and
Yeah,
with the other federal agencies.
Homeland Security, they're all combined.
So I mean, I think we need to expand and build on that. I think we can do more, diverting some resources to doing more joint work with parole and probation. I would like to devote a couple of police officers to going out with parole and probation officers and doing unannounced spot checks with on-the-spot drug tests and on-the-spot curfew checks to make sure that folks that have been recently released or folks that are on probation, particularly for violent crimes, know that there's a chance that we could show up to their door someday and see if they're actually complying with the terms of their release. I think that the police officers will tell you that, you know, the vast majority of the crime is committed by a small percentage of the people, and we already know who most of them are. Just got to get them off the street. And we have to do something about, I mean, it's not that complicated. It's gangs and guns and drugs, and they're all interwoven. There's no clear lines between the two. The gangs are in the drug distribution business. Every time somebody gets shot, 9 times out of 10, either someone's going out with someone else's old girlfriend, or it's related to a drug deal. 9 out of 10 shootings are one or the other. And so we got to get the guns and the drugs off the street.
Well,
And part of that is getting more effective help with the DA.
I liked what you said about Brockton being a dumping ground, because I feel exactly the same way.
Well, I hear
Yeah.
from, and the quotes in the paper, I mean, when you're in a debate, you get 60 seconds to answer, you're talking quick.
You're right.
And, when they asked the mayor what she thought 2 days later, she had some time to think about her answer. But I hear from a lot of the business owners that, I'm not insensitive. I want to help people who need help. But I'll tell you a quick story. I was talking to one of my commercial real estate friends who was showing some space that they were trying to lease up at the Westgate Mall.
Oh yeah.
Brought the person in, person's very interested, they're gonna head back to the office to sign the lease. As they're coming out of Westgate Drive out onto the highway there, there's a guy standing at the corner at the lights begging for change at the lights.
Oh God, yeah.
Guy sees
We're
that,
always
they
there.
get back to the office, and the guy says, you know what, I don't think that's the right spot for me, I changed my mind.
Oh,
So I
God.
think that I want to be compassionate, I want to get people the services that they need. I think police officers will tell you, patrolmen are probably the busiest social workers in the world. They're the ones out on the front lines. But it's not good for business to have homeless people hanging on street corners, begging for money. North Main Street, we're never going to get turned around as long as there's 50 homeless people constantly hanging out
I
there.
know. That's-
And I do think we take a disproportionate burden. I think that the people in Easton love to go over to the country club and write a check to support that mainspring house in downtown Brockton, so long as you don't put it in their community.
Yeah.
So I understand the need for social service agencies, and I want to deliver the services, but I think we've got to find a way to do it that we're not dragging the city down while we do it.
See, my fear is too, because obviously I have family here, and where they're opening up all the pot dispensaries and the vending machines.
We have now, they're on every corner.
Well, that's what But will Brockton become a dumping ground for all of them?
Yeah, I think that the medical marijuana dispensaries are coming. I did not vote for the law, but it has been passed, it is the law, and the DPH, Department of Public Health, is going to license them. There's going to be at least one in Brockton, there's no doubt.
Can we just put it on Green Street?
Yeah, there you go, yeah, save all the running back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I would really like to see something like that end up in more of a commercial industrial area though than a residential area.
I don't have a problem with it.
I'd like to
but
see
I
it like
just-
in an industrial park, something like that,
Right.
not next to
Right.
an elementary school or a church.
Right, or near the methadone clinics, or
Right.
the neighborhood clinics,
Right.
or the
Oh yeah, the
homeless
methadone
shelters.
clinics.
Right.
You're right.
I think that, I think that they're coming, and I think that we do have to do a little bit with zoning to make sure that we have some say to exactly where they live.
And I guess that's what I'm asking,
Yeah.
has anything
I
been
would,
done?
no, they haven't done it yet, but my position is going to be that I would work with the developer, but I would want a deal to put it in a place that we're comfortable with, like, I picture like an industrial area.
Okay.
Whether it's down on, Oak Hill Way or West Chestnut
Yeah,
Street,
by
or
where the power plant
someplace
will
that's
be.
predominantly industrial, commercial, not residential.
Are they working on zoning so they won't be near the schools?
Right now, they've just done a moratorium. They've agreed to do nothing for 6 months. The state is still finalizing the regulations, so I think most local communities are taking the position that they want to see what the regs actually look like from the state and then respond from there. But I think that the only real control the local community is going to have is going to be around zoning.
Now, are we
They're going to be licensed by DPH, not by the city.
Right, now are they going, now I think, was it Randolph that applied for one? Are we going to
Oh,
kind
I
of
think there's
wait?
100 applications across the state. In year one, there will only be 4 in Plymouth County. 4 in each county the first year, but then after the first year, the ceiling comes off and whatever DPH licenses.
So is there a possibility that Randolph would get it before us so we can sit back and say, listen,
No,
this is how?
well, Randolph is a different county, so they wouldn't be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not Plymouth.
Yeah.
They're in Norfolk.
I think in Plymouth County, if Plymouth County is getting 4, it's a pretty sure bet
Didn't see
Brockton's
this
getting at least
report.
3. But I agree. As I say, I didn't vote for the law, but it is the law. And DPH is going to implement it, so I think we do better to try to work with the potential developer to get them to cooperate with us and put it in a place that it would not have a dramatic impact on a residential neighborhood. my main concern is, you know, school kids walking to school,
Yeah.
residential neighborhoods, things like that. That's good. You know, every coffee hour I get a question that I haven't got before. I've never got that question yet. I've done 40 or 50 of these now. Is there anything else? I'm going to hang out for a while, so if I know Billy, there's plenty of cold beer. So, and I don't have any commitments after this, so I'm going to hang out and enjoy a couple cold drinks. And I'd love to have a chance to talk to anybody individually. And I really appreciate everybody coming over.
As long as you
Thank you
take your
very much.
tie
All right.
All right, I'm taking the tie off. At least listen.
All right.